Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Gail here, anaesthetist and natural health practitioner from New Zealand. And today we're going to be talking about the flagship product for LifeVantage, Protandim NRF2, a way to optimize your health. Now, it's all about taking something natural to make it. So we can make the antioxidants, we can make the proteins, we can make the enzymes that you need for better health. It's all about taking Protandim, NRF2, to make antioxidants. We're also going to be talking about nutrigenomics, which is a fancy scientific word, and it's about how nutrition or dietary components interact with the DNA or your blueprint to regulate gene expression. Now, we can change our DNA of how it's expressed. The DNA is the blueprint, but we can actually make it even better by expressing our genes in a different way. So here's a bit of a backtrack about the history of Protandim NRF2. Now, the guy down in the white coat there is Dr. Joe McCord. He was a scientist responsible for finding an antioxidant enzyme that we make in every single cell of our body, and that's called superoxide dismutase. You don't need to know anything about that. But basically, it took him another 20 years to find out how that enzyme was stimulated. What was the pathway? Well, the pathway was NRF2. And so then he thought, well, okay, I found the enzyme, I found the pathway. What will stimulate that pathway? So he put together a combination of 5 herbs with his team. They tried multiple combinations. Protandim NRF2, a combination of 5 herbs, was launched in 2003. So it's been around a long time, and millions of tablets have been taken all over the world. It took until 2005 when this dude on the ABC primetime came along and tried to debunk the whole thing. But what happened was that they found that his and everybody else's oxidative stress was reduced by 40% in 30 days. So it went viral. Everybody wanted to be on Protandim NRF2. It was so popular that they switched from retail sales to a direct selling model in 2009. The interesting thing about this is that there were prestigious universities, medical centers, hospitals that studied this independently as a product-specific study, product-specific. And they did a lot of research on it. And I want to show you what I think is the most important paradigm shift for modern medicine, a new era in genetic activation. This is from Washington State University. NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. In our opinion, raising NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. That is huge. And that is why everybody in the world should be on Protandim NRF2. So let's have a look to see, what is it? Turmeric. We all know about turmeric, great anti-inflammatory, great antioxidant. We know about milk thistle, great liver cleanser. Green tea, great antioxidant. And ashwagandha and bacopa, ancient herbs that actually promote mental clarity, focus, hormonal balance, put together in a combination that is 18 times more effective than the individual agents alone. So it's not a big dose that's doing this NRF2 activation. It's the combination of the specific amounts of the turmeric, of the ashwagandha, the bacopa, the green tea, and the milk thistle. That's the secret sauce. So what we're doing with Protandim NRF2 is we're making antioxidants. We're making antioxidants in every cell. Now, oxidative stress promotes aging. Oxygen-free radicals damage cells. What Protandim NRF2 does is it fights oxidative stress, and it enables you to make antioxidant enzymes within every cell. It's backed by 30 peer-reviewed independent studies. That's huge. It's got 7 US patents. As I said, it reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and increases glutathione, the master antioxidant enzyme, by 300% in 120 days. Let's have a look comparison to food. So food, blueberries, oranges, red wine, they are antioxidants, as we know. One of those antioxidants will decrease a 1 free radical, whereas the Protandim NRF2 neutralizes thousands and thousands, in fact, millions of free radicals because it produces tons of antioxidants per tablet. And we get a greater reduction in oxidative stress. You might say, well, what's this oxidative stress all about? It's an imbalance. We make antioxidants in every single cell of our body, but as we age, that process goes down and we don't make as many. So the effect of the oxygen-free radicals becomes worse, and that's a sign of aging. We no longer can address those oxygen-free radicals. We get the signs of aging because it's an imbalance. Now, if you have anybody that comes to you and says, listen, I've got this health concern, and what will this do for me? What will the Protandim NRF2 do for me? Type in oxidative stress and their health concern, and you will soon see how many figures come up for every single health concern that we currently have in modern day living. So let's dive into the nutrigenomic part now. It's a little bit sciencey, so bear with me if you don't like science. So we're talking about nutrition affecting our genetic expression. These are specific genes that the Protandim NRF2 can turn on. On the left, we've got an antioxidant detoxification gene. It's called NQO1. It's increased by 40% with Protandim NRF2 synergizer. The inflammatory response gene, HMXOX1, is increased by 50% with Protandim NRF2 synergizer. If you combine it with NRF1, which works at the mitochondria, you get even greater results. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about NRF2. And this is a schematic diagram of how NRF2 actually works within the cell. Now, this orange ellipse is the cell and the blue part is the nucleus. So what happens when you have oxidative stress is that normally in the cytoplasm, NRF2 is bound to a protein called KEAP1. When that NRF2 is stimulated, it's called what we call translocates or moves into the nucleus, the blue part. Then it stimulates a thing called the antioxidant response element. What that does is upregulates genes like the NQO1 and the HO1, which are responsible for antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. And what they do is they then target the oxidative stress and decrease that oxidative stress. So it's a lovely little pathway that we have. It's got a natural feedback mechanism. If you're looking for specific genes, please go to this paper here. This is a paper by Hibbertson. And when you look at the detail of the genes that are shown to increase with Protandim, if they're good genes, or decrease if they're bad genes with Protandim, this will answer the questions for anybody who has a little bit of scientific knowledge. Oxidative stress in health and disease. So in summary, what we're seeing is we've got an input of milk thistle, bacopa, ashwagandha, green tea, and turmeric. It switches on that NRF2 pathway. And what does it do? It helps the body detoxify. It reduces oxidative stress. It reduces cellular stress through that NRF2 oxidation. And it produces enzymes capable of neutralizing thousands and millions of free radicals. It regulates survival genes and it helps the body repair and rejuvenate its own cells. So what will you find? You find more energy, better sleep. Your cells are zinging and you can get through the day like you never have got through before. We're reducing our oxidative stress levels. So who can't take NRF2? Remember, it's a food. So there are only a few absolute contraindications. Allergies to ingredients, and I mean anaphylaxis. A lot of people will get gastric upset when they do, but that's just part of the cleaning out process of the cells. They might get a little bit of diarrhea or constipation or headachy. That is part of the cleaning out process, and that is not a contraindication. What they need to do is to flush all that out with a lot more water and maybe decrease the dose, maybe half a tablet a day. If they're on active chemotherapy or radiotherapy, because what that is designed to do is to basically dampen down the immune response, and similarly with organ replacements or immunosuppressants. There are a few relative contraindications, especially with anticoagulants or they haven't coming up for surgery. If you have any concerns at all, please direct your customers back to their medical practitioner because they need to make the decision. So you are not a doctor. Please refer anything that you are worried about or you're not sure about back to their medical practitioner. So a lot of people ask me, can you take more than one per day? And the answer is yes. If you look at the graph down there on the bottom right, you'll see that the maximum activation of NRF2 is between 8 and 10 hours. So that's when you have maximum activation of that NRF2 pathway. So if you want your NRF2 pathway to be active the whole of the 24 hours, then every 10 hours you should be taking NRF2. It's got a natural feedback mechanism, so you can't overdose yourself. Now, for those people who decide that they're going to stop it, you'll find that the effects of NRF2 activation wear off in about 10 days or so, and then they'll start to feel how they did feel before they even started. So it's all about taking something to make it. We're empowering our bodies to make the antioxidants. We're making proteins. We're making enzymes for better health. If you want to explain Protandim NRF2 in a nutshell, basically it's a natural supplement that works as a genetic activator to enhance health and well-being. It's backed by robust science and multiple patents, and it's changing people's lives. Would you like to know more? So LifeVantage is the activation company. We take things to make things in our body. The body has the most incredible resources and the most incredible ability to heal itself if we give it the right nutritional support. And that's what we're doing with Protandim NRF2. We are giving it the nutritional support for optimum health. Thank you.